Hello everyone, back with Recent Watches Part 30. So it's been 9 days since I did the last part. Was going to wait a few days until I got some more because I've only watched 7, but I thought maybe I can get this, I always say it, but maybe I can get this under half an hour or so. Whereas I think I'm working 6 days straight from tomorrow. So probably won't get a time to do it otherwise for another week, and by then I might have 15 watches and it will go on until summer. So got 7 to show, few DVD, few Blu-ray. Don't think there's any 4K. Obviously, I'll talk about them when I get to them. I will quickly show these. Not really worth doing a pickups video for, but I've got a few titles in the charity shop. Probably at least a week or so now, obviously, because I'm working, so I'll get to go and do any more pickups. So for this one I've been after a while. I was tempted to get the 4K. Quite expensive, obviously, for a 4K at I think it was about 22 when I last seen it, but not sure if it's a film I like, so happy to give it a go on DVD. Is The Lion in Winter. Never seen this around on DVD before. Peter O'Toole, Katharine Hepburn, filmed by Anthony Harvey. Directed by Anthony Harvey. Music composed and directed by John Barry. Sure everybody knows John Barry. It looks an interesting film. Is it long? 129 minutes, so 2 hours, 9 minutes. But basically it's in the 5 for £1. So this one I wanted. I thought give that a go on DVD for 20p, and if I like it then I'll buy the 4K, whereas it did seem a bit like the kind of one, I'm not saying it won't be a good film with the director and the actors in it, and I've heard good things, but I might find it a bit slow personally. This was the one I wanted, so assumed it'd be like 50p or £1 on its own, but it was 5 for £1. So Somers Town, Shane Meadows film. Looks like it's black and white. I'm guessing it's before This Is England, 2008. Not sure what year This Is England was. Sort of black and white, only 68 minutes. So I guess it's like a short kind of version that it was based on. Sorry, Roy, if you're watching, but I don't know if you can see this guy's got an Arsenal shirt on. I apologise. But it was kind of mostly those two. So once, it's 5 for £1, definitely wanted those. I think those are both worth more than £1, ones I never really see around. So I had to stack it up to make it to 5. So got Nicolas Cage in National Treasure. Seen this once years ago, had fun with it. Probably the closest sort of thing to like Mummy, Indiana Jones in terms of those like adventure kind of films. People probably surprised I don't own this one. Again, another one for Roy. It's Tom Hanks in Forrest Gump. So I've seen this one on the TV lots of times. Didn't see it at the proper cinema, but once we was on holiday, there was this like small cinema and they showed it in there. I wouldn't say it's like one of my favourites. Not in my top 25 or anything, but a good film, a moving film, some really good performances. One of Robert Zemeckis' better ones, but worked out 20p. I don't know how I've never owned that on like Blu-ray or 4K or anything. Let me just see. I think this was the last one to make it up to the 5 for £1 was Mosquito Squadron, or should I say it is. Directed by Boris Sagal. I think he's related to Stephen. Starring David McCallum. Music by Frank Cordell. It's a World War II film by the look of it, about him fighting the German Luftwaffe. So it looks like he's in, if it's British, he'll be in a Spitfire. If it's American, I guess he'll be in a Mustang. Guessing it's probably American. They usually try and do their take on the war and slightly fabricate how much they put in towards the victory. Guessing he's an American fighter pilot in like dogfights. I've heard of it, but never seen it, but looks an interesting one. And like I said, it was 5 for £1. And then this one was a 99p in a different charity shop, but as people know, I do collect Tartan Video. Pretty sure this one might be on the premium collection on Blu-ray. But happy to pay 99p for the DVD of The Caller. William H. Macy, Maria Bello, and Alec Baldwin. Directed by Wayne Kramer. I mean, he's got a brother that he's gone against in a directing competition. Kramer versus Kramer. But anyway, let's get on with the... I was going to say remind me, but you're not going to comment until I finish the video. I have built up and installed another cabinet. So I'll show you that briefly, because now I've got a lot more room for my films. Obviously, you probably noticed I've turned a lot of those Let me move out of the way. Back front on. So yeah, a lot of them I had sideways while I was running out of space. But yeah, with the new cabinet, I've moved some stuff out. Got some of that front on. Got more space on the DVD horror section. More space on the standard DVDs. More space on horror Blu-ray, standard Blu-ray. So yeah, future-proof myself. About another 4 shelves. So I don't know how long that will last. But right, anyway, let me get on with this because already 5 minutes in, and all I've done is showed you some charity shop pickups. It's Jim Carrey and Liar Liar, kindly sent to me by Sammy G. Sammy G's World of Cinema. Oh, I took the little sticker off the back. Yeah, always been one of my favourite comedies, one of my most rewatched films. Seen this at the cinema with my mates. We didn't know what it was. Obviously, we knew who Jim Carrey was, but we didn't even know it had been released. So we got to the cinema for his birthday party. Can't remember what else was showing, but this was the one we chose, and yeah, found it really funny. Directed by Tom Shadyac. Let me know if he's done anything else. 1 hour 23 to 12. It's got obviously Jim Carrey, Maura Tierney, Jennifer Tilly, Swoosie Kurtz, Amanda Donahoe, and Cary Elwes. Trying to find out it was directed by. Oh yeah, I already read that out. Tom Shadyac. Yeah, so sorry if I keep sniffing and that. I am ill. Been really quite ill the last 2 days, aching all over, blocked nose, headache, probably COVID or something. So yeah, bear with me if I'm sniffing, and I'll try not to wipe snot from my nose too often. I should have brought a tissue in, I guess. Yeah, always enjoyed it, always found it funny, but the watch I had of this the last time, probably even funnier than I realised. Yeah, there's a bit where, obviously it's not a spoiler to say, his son kind of puts a curse on him, makes a birthday wish that he can't lie because he's a lawyer and he's always letting him down and lying. And then he goes through the corridor at work and people are greeting him and he's not even calling them names, but telling them what he really thinks of them. And then he gets in his office and he's like, right, it must be psychological, I'll overcome it. So he gets the blue pen and he's trying to lie, saying this pen is red, and there's a dialogue. Yeah, I think it's Jim Carrey's best moment I've ever seen. Only Jim Carrey could have done this scene. So much energy and just crazy out there acting. I won't do it because I won't just live up to its justification. Won't do it justice. That's what I'm trying to say. I should have had some more paracetamol before this. But yeah, he's basically trying to say the pen is red, and then he's just making funny noises, and then he holds it up. He says, "I declare this pen is royal blue." But yeah, that's one of my favourite scenes from any scene. Probably, yeah, I can't think of a funnier scene from any comedy personally. Spinal Tap up there with a few really funny bits, and a few other Jim Carrey films. A few bits out of Brain Dead, some of my sort of favourite comedies that make me laugh. But yeah, Shelby knows Liar Liar, classic film, still lands nowadays as a comedy. Good story, the bit with the claw is iconic. Yeah, one of Jim Carrey's best roles. Comedy, but not silly. If you find The Mask, should I say, Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura, a bit sort of juvenile, immature, then this is a bit more, I wouldn't say grown up, but obviously it's a courtroom drama kind of style. But yeah, find that a really entertaining film. I'll give that an 8.5. This one, pleasantly surprised. Another recommendation from Ash from Popcorn and Horror. Although, to be fair, Ash did recommend this about 6 months ago. Picked it up on his recommendation. It's one you don't really see come into CEX very often. I think it's about £8 or so. I think it's out of print. Pretty sure Stuart George from Stuart George's Home Movies recently picked this up. So if you haven't watched this yet, Stuart, as I don't think I'm caught up with your very latest videos. I think I've got one to watch. I know actually that's the one you're wishing for certain 4Ks to come out in 2026, so I'm guessing that won't be on here. I'll show it anyways. Action Jackson. Don't know why that's the name of hip hop star is the word. I'm sure Sammy will know of that. Yeah, Action Jackson. Forgive me. Like I say, I'm a bit dozy today. I have had some medication and it stopped my brain from working more than normal. Directed by Craig R. Baxley, Carl Weathers, Craig T. Nelson, Vanity. I was like, who the hell's that? I think Ash or someone said she's like a pop star from the time. She looks quite nice. And Sharon Stone. Yeah, must be one of her earlier roles. This is 1988. It's after Deadly Friend? No, it is Deadly Blessing, sorry. Yeah, the Wes Craven film. Guessing it's after that. She's a bit older. Won't spoil it too much, but she's not in it as long as you might hope. Yeah, big fan of Carl Weathers, especially for Dylan in Predator, and Apollo Creed in not sure which Rocky film, Rocky 1, maybe he's back in Rocky 3. Sure Angelo or Stuart or someone will let me know. Yeah, very 80s music, kind of a lot of like funk soul music. It's kind of like a music video with this lady, Vanity, dancing and things. And yeah, I'm not usually into like funk soul music, but the songs are actually quite good, work really well. I think when I said to Ash I'd watched it and enjoyed it, he did say a lot of the cast you'll recognise from out of Die Hard. Yeah, I'm guessing maybe produced by the same people. Silver Pictures production. Obviously, different director as Die Hard's done by John McTiernan, I want to say. This is Craig R. Baxley. Let me know what else he's done. 96 minutes, 15. Strong violence, injury, detail, nudity, language, drug misuse. It's very 80s, but not really in a cheesy way. But like it says, stormy weather's blast through Motown. So yeah, I'm guessing that's why it's got that kind of Motown track. Yeah, it's quite a bit of nudity in it for a 15, to be fair. I think this woman, Vanity, you like to see her naked. I don't think you see Sharon Stone naked. You might be disappointed, but there's another film you can see that. I think it's Basic Instinct. Yeah, really enjoyable kind of action film. Never too silly like some of the action films can be. Dialogue and that quite good. Yeah, even though it's 88, I guess it's coming to the end of the 80s, so like the shoulder pads and stuff were going out of fashion. Yeah, there's not too much fashion faux pas or Jean-Claude Van Damme style mullets in it. But yeah, got good stunts, interesting story. Yeah, I give it a 7.5, but for a first time watch, quite impressed with that. Action Jackson, so yeah, glad I got that and finally got round to watching it. So, been heeding a few of Ash's recommendations. I watched Loop Track, and then once I watched that and really enjoyed it, I was like, all right, some of Ash's recommendations are good. I've been ignoring him all this time for his dodgy film taste, and now I've watched one thing that he said is good, I'll watch another, and it was good, so I can trust you. Only joking, Ash, so everybody knows Ash from X-File 2708. This is one, if you watched the last haul video, you see I picked this one up, The Beastmaster. Yeah, like I said, loved this as a kid, watched it a lot. Used to always get this one out the video shop on VHS. Was wondering if it's a bit cheesy. It is a bit cheesy. Not the best made film, but it's entertaining. Never boring. The bits when Mark Singer's character does like the eagle noise, it's a bit weird. I was hoping it wasn't going to be like puppets of the animals or something, because obviously when I watched this as a kid, I think last time I watched it I was like 6 or something. Not only can I not remember it that well, but also you ain't got no critical evaluation or anything when you're that age. So, you know, if it was like Thunderbirds, I didn't even realise they were on puppet strings until yesterday. It's a director's cut digitally mastered. So me and Stuart watched this on the same day. We didn't do a watch along because we're not Gen Z. So we like to actually focus on our films rather than both be texting saying, oh, Stuart, did you see the Black Panther just jumped up in the air, or whatever other people do on the watch alongs. But yeah, Stuart did say this is the director's cut, and there's apparently a more full version. Maybe there is, but to my knowledge, this is the only version you can get in the UK. This DVD with this kind of cover. I think that's the same one Stuart's got. Don't think it's ever been upgraded to Blu-ray or 4K. 113 minutes. Guessing it was, 86 or something. Directed by Don Coscarelli, that does the Phantasm film. Oh, 1999. Nah, it can't be right. That must be the... Yeah, I mean, I got this out, unless I was in the future, I got this out, yeah, probably like 1990, 1991 or so, from the video shop. So, yeah, no, it was 1999, but can't find a year. Let me know if you know, Stuart. Yeah, it was entertaining, but like I said, it wasn't the best made film. Really good work with the animals, I guess you call it, rather than stunts. So the panther is real, he's really doing things. The falcon, I can't remember was it a falcon or an eagle? Some kind of bird of prey. Can't remember its name. And then I think the star of this, and Stuart agreed, is I think they were called Koto and Poto. I think they were ferrets or some kind of small mammal. I said polecats. I said they were either polecats, meerkats, or ferrets. They definitely weren't meerkats because they didn't look nothing like meerkats, but also they weren't comparing the market. Whereas, yeah, Stuart was calling them ferrets. I was calling them polecats. I was calling them pole ferrets. But yeah, they were really well trained, had a lot of personality. Yeah, probably the best thing about this. I say the best thing. Tanya Roberts is naked in it quite a lot. Quite shocked for a 15. This had so much nudity. Yeah, I'm surprised my parents let me watch this at about 6 because not only, you know, she's topless and that in it, but there's a lot of scenes where she's running around and it doesn't look like she's got anything on under her skirt, and they're not really trying to hide what's going on. So yeah, quite surprised. This is A, a 15, and B, I was allowed to watch it and couldn't really remember it. I guess at about 6 or so, I probably didn't really want to interested in adult ladies, but I'm sure it stirred something in my loins, which has shaped my taste ever since. Yeah, there's Tanya Roberts. Not sure what else she's in, but yeah, she is stunning in this. Really nice body, good actress, really nice face, and really piercing blue eyes. Mark Singer, I think I've seen in other things, can't really remember. The villain's quite good. Yeah, it's a bit, I wouldn't say slow, but it feels 2 hours. As far as he's, I guess you class him as like sword and sorcery, although obviously he's got animals, whereas most sword and sorcery is just someone with a sword and doing sorcery. Yeah, it's one of the better ones. Yeah, dragged a bit, not the highest production values. A few bits were a bit cheesy, but I guess it has dated. But yeah, I'd give that a 6, I think is fair, as yeah, it wasn't the best of that kind of. I think there's sequels, maybe like a part 2 and a part 3. Not sure if they're by Don Coscarelli or whether they'd be worth bothering to watch, but let me know. This is one I haven't watched, I'd say about 15 years, 16 years from the previous watch. Did enjoy it. Thought it had really good twists and turns, quite an original story. But once sure, from when I watched it before, I didn't have a problem with the acting back then, but obviously as time goes on, like I say, you get more of a critical eye. So back then I was watching a lot of like trashy films, video nasties, sort of films on like Shameless label, and you know, cannibal films, stuff that isn't known for its great production value or acting, although a lot of them do have really good soundtracks. Shout out to Riz Ortolani. But yeah, I thought I'd go back and the acting would be bad, and I'd be like, no, it wasn't as good as I remembered it, but it probably improved slightly. I'll show it to you anyway. Pathology. So directed by Mark Scholerman, starring Milo Ventimiglia, Michael Weston, and Alyssa Milano. Heard her name, not sure what else she's at. Maybe she was out of Skins, not Skins. What's that thing like The Doctors, like a comedy? I know, I found it funny, but a lot of my mates did like it. I think it's one Angelo likes. Scrubs. Maybe she's out of that. Someone let me know. I'm sure you know. She's very attractive in it. Yeah, I'd say this is a thriller more than a horror, but it does have a lot of, not even so much gore, but they're basically, as it tells you by the title, they're med school students, and they work in like a morgue, and obviously they're practicing cutting up bodies. I think an autopsy is like different to a pathology, so a pathologist. So I think an autopsy are just looking for cause of death, whereas pathology, I think, is only to do with diseases, like a pathological disease. But yeah, it's not that low budget, I wouldn't say. Yeah, it kind of looks like it's going to be like a real bad B movie, but it's more proficiently made than you'd expect. Yeah, I think I did say the acting is sort of better than it has any right being when I was speaking to Marcus and Ash. Marcus from X42708, and again, Ash from Popcorn and Horror in our group Lords of Darkness. Yeah, they're basically working in a med school, and the corpses, the cadavers, whatever you want to call them, they're working on look very real. They're like chopping them up, peeling their foreheads open, exposing their brain. Yeah, it did look very realistic. Reason I'm saying it's a bit of a thriller more than a horror. I've double checked the back, and it's not a spoiler to say they all work at the med school, cutting up the cadavers and things, and then say there's about a group of 10 of these students. They basically start playing this game where obviously they're the ones that are accessing all of the bodies that are coming through the morgue that I guess die in that sort of town. So they start playing this, I say, a game where one of them will kill somebody. Usually they choose somebody that's on like life support and going out anyway, or one of them is some without going into it too much, this woman says it was her dad and he'd like abused her as a kid, so then they don't feel so bad. Yeah, they're not killing like people in the prime of their life, like Lucy Letby. Some of them do, but I think the main character, again, not really a spoiler to say, what's he called in it? Ted Gray. Sort of kill somebody that's on like life support anyway. But yeah, they'll basically do it in a way of a very kill them in a mysterious way, and then when the body comes in, obviously their professor doesn't know they're all in on it, or they'd all be arrested and sacked. But they'll all be studying it, and they'll be like, right, you can see his lungs have collapsed, but there's no like bruising around the chest where someone's crushed his thorax. So how have his lungs been collapsed? And they'll try and like guess. Which is quite interesting. There's quite a lot of twists and turns. Like I say, the acting quite good, the dialogue quite good. What did sort of put me on high alert when it said from the creators of Crank. Again, sorry Roy, I'm not the biggest Jason Statham fan, but I think I did try and watch Crank once with one of my mates years ago, and yeah, it did seem quite a badly made film, so I was worried this would be on that level. Maybe some people will not like it, but yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, like I say, good twists and turns. Only thing I would say I'll knock it down a point for, guy, Ted Gray, comes into this pathology school. He's a very precocious talent. People saying he's one of the best in his field. He's already a genius. So you think he'd be taking this seriously as a career. You enroll like 8 years or something to do this for university, probably like a Harvard scholarship kind of thing. And then the people in his class, they're horrible to him. They're picking on him, trying to get him in trouble. Doesn't get on with them at all. Then one night they're like, do you want to come for drinks? So that was me. I'd be like, well, you were horrible to me yesterday, so no. But also, then he starts getting involved in this game and he kills 1 or 2 people. Again, not a spoiler to say. I'm like, wasn't very believable that the guy comes in and it's like, I've got no criminal record. I'm a straight up guy. I just want to learn and be the best in my class. Within about 1 day of being there, he's now mixed up in this like ring, and they sort of get him deep in where he joins in, and then they're basically, at first he isn't killing someone, but one of the I think it's Michael Weston character called Jake, he basically like, I've planted some evidence on one of the bodies I've killed, so now you're involved, so you better do a killing. They sort of trap him in it, so it's hard to believe that he'd like go off the rails and into a life of crime that fast. If he had a bit of backstory, he comes in, he was like a troubled surgeon, a bit like what they do with Jeffrey Combs' character. His name in it now, Doctor something in Reanimator. He comes in, he's already been in trouble for unethical work in the past, and then you kind of know why he's going to start breaking the code of ethics. Whereas, yeah, quite unbelievable how fast not only he gets involved in all this and potentially ruins his career and spends life in prison over a little game with people he doesn't like, but they're also, I think it's crystal meth, might be crack, I'll have to double check with my neighbour, although he's moved out, but they've got this like glass pipe, they're smoking, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's crystal meth, and I'm like, how did he go from drug-free, top-of-the-class student to killing people, hiding bodies, and smoking crystal meth or crack in like 2 days? That was quite unbelievable, to be fair, so I'll knock it down, but yeah, I'd give it a 6.5, yeah, I'd probably give it a 7.5 or a 7 if it weren't for the unbelievable character arc, but yeah, the production value, the gore and the special features, the sort of really satisfying ending, a twist that go along you probably won't see coming, quite a clever film, quite a lot of like the science, the way they kill certain people does kind of make sense. Yeah, I would recommend that if you haven't seen it and you don't mind. Yeah, it is more of a thriller than a horror, but quite a low budget one. But yeah, give it a 6, let's give it a 7, I think it's fair actually. This one, again, anyone that's seen the pickup video, so yeah, I've tried to watch in a few of the ones I picked up only 3 days ago, I think it was. Maybe a bit longer, I haven't checked my YouTube. Yeah, I was looking for this one for a long time. Got it in HMV for $9.99 in the sale. It's Roller Coaster. Yeah, expected to like it. I did watch the uncut version. It doesn't really make too much sense because the disc 1 theatrical version is 118 minutes. The disc 2 uncut version is 118 minutes. Might have an extra like 20-30 seconds of footage that hasn't taken it over the threshold into 119, but seems a bit weird as usually, if you watch the director's cut or extended of a lot of films, they're like half an hour longer, like the Donnie Darko director's cut, for example. Timothy Bottom's brilliant, and this is the terrorist. George Segal, really good as the like inspector, I guess you call him. Richard Widmark, good in it. Henry Fonda, not got the biggest part. Directed by James Goldston. Music was really good in it. Let me see who that's by. Lalo Schifrin. I'm sure I've butchered that. Let me know in the comments. I'm sure Royal Stewart will know. Yeah, it's the 2-disc version. So obviously I watched the uncut disc. Only 2 hours long, but never dragged. 1977, but not dated. Yeah, a lot of the obviously when they're filming in the theme parks was in a real theme park. I think they do film the ride going around. It looked like it was Cedar Point, which is like a big theme park. I'll have to watch the extras, maybe to tell you a bit more. I mean, it's only a PG. Mild disaster scenes, threat, brief bloody images and language. And as Roy did comment in the last video, the word I couldn't think of was disaster, which ironic because that's what happened in the video when I couldn't think of the title. But yeah, for a PG, it's got no gore on that, but the scene when not really spoiler to say, the roller coaster derails is pretty intense. So he blows up the track, and then as he's coming towards the track, let's say the right rail, like the roller coaster's wheels are on, is sort of stuck up like that. So once it hits it, it kind of goes in slow motion, flies off the track. You see all the people flying out. Then the actual carriage falls from about 20 foot upside down with all the people in it. You can sort of see them get squashed, like probably broken necks. Yeah, not gore, but yeah, it's quite intense. You know, some of it will clip over it, and might do it where you see it fly off into the horizon, and then you see the shadow of the people flying out. But no, I wouldn't say intense, but yeah, it goes there with a disaster. Yeah, I'd say for me, Timothy Bottom's the best part of this. The dialogue when he's ringing them, sort of giving them clues. Bit of a thriller in terms of they're trying to judge what theme park he's going to hit next. Yeah, it kind of reminded me of Zodiac Killer, or Zodiac the film, in terms of like he's ringing them up, giving them clues. They're trying to sort of not even decode, but see where he's going to strike next. Obviously, I've said in the past I'm a big fan of theme parks. Never really seen many films. I mean, I'm thinking, is it Final Destination 2? Might be part 3. I'm sure Marcus from Nextfile2708 will let me know in the comments. Does have the scene with the roller coaster, which is a lot more intense than this, because obviously it's a 15 or an 18. It's a horror. But yeah, I'm taking it. That took some inspiration from this. But yeah, one of the best films I've watched so far this year. Pleasantly, I say surprised. I thought I was going to enjoy it. But yeah, did enjoy it. Stuart and Roy had kind of recommended this between them. Yeah, one I've waited for a long time to watch. So sometimes when you wait that long and watch it, it can be a bit disappointing, where you've built it up in your head, but it wasn't. So yeah, at the moment, it is going to be in the top 15 films of 2026, but see if it stays in there to the end of the year, or whether it gets derailed. Roller Coaster, I'll give it a score. I'll give it a 8.5, bordering on 9. Just trying to think what the other score. So yeah, if I give Pathology a 7, Liar Liar an 8.5, yeah, I think 8.5 is fair. I'll have to watch it again before it gets like a 9 or goes any higher, but I will watch it again probably within this year. So yeah, 8.5 for Roller Coaster, so highest of the did I say 8.5 or 8 for Liar Liar? Let's say I said 8 for Liar Liar. I'll give Roller Coaster a 9. I always do this, settle on a score, and then I doubt myself. So yeah, Liar Liar an 8.5, Roller Coaster a 9. I'm not saying it's a more enjoyable film. Liar Liar's got a lot more nostalgia and things for me, but yeah, Roller Coaster, I say, is more of a classic, and not really seen a film like that. After I watched The Beastmaster, I started thinking about swords and sorcery films. Haven't got too many. There is one called The Sword and the Sorcerer, and that'd be quite a gory one. I think Stuart's got that on the special edition. One I've never seen. I did have another one called The Sword and something on DVD years ago. Must have traded it in or give it away. It's one called Excalibur. I think it's coming out on Arrow 4K, but I haven't seen it. But yeah, this one I've had in the collection ages, never watched, and it is now out of print and quite expensive on 101 Films. So I think it has got a 4K upgrade coming. But yeah, I didn't really plan to watch 2 101 Films titles in a row. It's Deathstalker. This also does have Deathstalker 2 across 2 discs. I've only watched Deathstalker 1 so far. Only 79 minutes. 18, sexualized nudity, sexual violence, strong violence. Yeah, it was quite intense. 1983, the original. starring Richard Hill. Barbie Benton looked very nice in it as the female protagonist. Doesn't seem to tell me that much information. I was trying to find out who the director is. Yeah, quite sort of gory and intense and a lot of nudity. A bit more than Beastmaster, which is only a 15. Yeah, probably slightly better than Beastmaster. Still not great. Special effects are pretty decent. This thing on the front, unless he's in part 2, in the original, he kind of looked a bit more like a pig monster. Whereas here, they kind of made him more like a giant orc sort of creature. But yeah, the creature effects and costumes and that were quite good. Music was good. Can't find who the music is by. Yeah, it's not giving me much information on this. It felt like an Italian composer. It felt a bit like an Italian production, but there's Richard Hill and Barbie Benton aren't Italian, but yeah, judging by like the sort of style of it, yeah, I wouldn't say it's a B-movie sort of version of the Sword and Sorcery, but say Krull is one of the most renowned ones, then yeah, this is probably like a bit of a cheaper version of Krull. But yeah, enjoyable. We'll look forward to watching part 2, and this was a first time watch. So, Stuart, I know you're into your Sword and Sorcery kind of films. Let me know if you've seen Deathstalker. Maybe a good recommendation for you if you haven't. Because yeah, if you enjoyed Beastmaster, a few in that kind of vein of the Sword and Sorcery, then yeah, I think that's slightly better than those. So I'll give Beastmaster a 6. I'll give this 6.5, bordering on a 7. Then the last one, I only watched this one last night. Second time watch, have watched it years ago, but couldn't really remember it. When I say years ago, yeah, probably like 18 years ago, is Maniac. So I am a big fan of the remake of this, which is all shot in like POV with Elijah Wood, with a really good soundtrack. It's a really gritty, low budget. I was kind of thinking it might be that low budget that the acting and stuff isn't great, the effects aren't great, but no, it all stands up. Very sleazy, nasty. I don't think there's ever a video nasty. It's by William Lustig, who did, I was getting mixed up with Frank Henenlotter, a similar kind of style. I'd say Basket Case, what's it called? Bad Biology, Brain Damage, those ones by Frank Henenlotter, probably a little lower budget than this. I'm trying to think what else William Lustig did. Doesn't seem to tell me. I do know another one by him, so I'll see if I can remember it as this goes along. From 1980, strong gory violence, horror, sexualized violence. Yeah, Joe Spinell as Frank Zito, really good, not just good acting. It's a horror slasher, but I'd say it's foremost a character study into Frank Zito. Yeah, very sleazy, sort of, is it New York he lives in? Looks like New York, doesn't seem to say. But yeah, very sleazy kind of setting, lots of gore, quite nasty killings. I mean, some bits when he's like, I think that scene there, if you could see it, he's like delivering the dialogue and crying and whimpering, but he does sell it very well. It's got a lot of like mannequins and things in it, which they do emphasize in the remake. Yeah, like I said, it was a rewatch, but it was almost a first time watch. But yeah, I mean, it's 88 films on the Slasher label, but originally I think it was released by Blue Underground, which is like an American label. I think it's about 88 minutes. See if I can find. Oh yeah, 88 minutes approx. Yeah, it was entertaining, sleazy, low budget, but never like too cheap looking. Yeah, Joe Spinell, the star of this. Who does the music? The music was really good in it. Does it give me any more information anywhere else? Produced. It's had sort of Italian music. Kind of reminded me of not Cannibal Holocaust, because you know that's very sort of beautiful, sentimental music juxtaposed against what's going on in the background. But yeah, a bit like the score from Demons or Demons 2, which is I think Lamberto Bava Productions. Yeah, similar to that. Yeah, let me know if you know who does the music. A bit annoying when a lot of these releases give you all this extra special features, brilliant upgraded print, nice packaging, but never really tells you on the back. Oh, interview with composer Jay Chataway. So I take it back, he's not Italian by the sound of it, but he does talk a lot. Yeah, quite nasty, some quite, I wouldn't say hard to watch scenes compared to some of today's sort of stuff. It's not that intense. It's like no a Serbian film or anything like that, but it goes there with the gore. Really good acting across the board for a cheap film. This lady got quite a good character development. The little sort of flat he lives in with all the like mannequins, really dingy and grimy. But yeah, I'd say really it's all about Joe Spinell's performance. He's like the standout part. Good atmosphere. Yeah, like I say, almost a first time watch really, because yeah, I'd watched it so long ago. I think like my mate was around when we watched it and didn't really take it all in. But yeah, pleasantly surprised by this one. Maniac, I'd give that a 7.5. So let's see if I can remember the scores. So 7.5 for Maniac, 7 for Deathstalker, 8.5 for Roller Coaster, 7 for Pathology, 6 for Beastmaster, say 7.5 for Action Jackson, let me call it the right name this time, and 8.5 for Jim Carrey's Liar Liar. So yeah, say watch of the week. Obviously Liar Liar is one of my favourite films. I've watched it loads of times. It doesn't get any worse on rewatches, but yeah, I think I did give Roller Coaster a 9, but I'll drop it to 8.5, so I can't really say I enjoy it more than Liar Liar. But yeah, best first time watch of the year probably so far. Let's see if it stays in the top favourites. And then before I finish this, let me just move this a sec. So yeah, where before I had this one cabinet and it was kind of in the middle. I don't know if anybody can remember that from the last room update. But yeah, I built up another cabinet and put it next to it. Forgive the bag of cat's litter. So yeah, moved a lot of like some of the ones I had down here, like Criterion and things. Moved them over into this bit. So I was able to expand the Arrow section. So more of them are sort of face on, so it looks better in the background. And then gave myself more space on the bottom 2 shelves, where all the horror was on this top bit. Yeah, I've moved up until L onto there. So I've got a bit more space here on the horror to grow into. A bit more, well, quite a lot more space down there over a shelf. I like to keep this shelf a bit empty, not just so I can fit more films in. But like I said before, this is a kind of pivot point. So if I need to move this and I get some 5 films, K and P and stuff, then I can just basically move these ones, say up to Jaws, down to here to give myself more space. And then condense the DVDs down. I got some space there for some standard non-horror. Sorry about his cat scooper thing. Bit more space here for DVD horror. And then yeah, this one does go to back on depth. So some of them are a bit hidden now on this shelf. So bottom is all the TV series, which is too deep. These horrors I've now put too deep, so that gave me an extra shelf. This is only 1 deep, but it's future proofing. But yeah, since I've upgraded this new cabinet, not only I think this little section looks good, with all the 88 films, premium collection, treasured films and stuff going across, but yeah, also give me some more space. Put this back. Right, so thank you everybody for watching. I'll be back. I don't know what the next video will be, but I'm sure you'll see from me at some point. Thank you everybody for watching. I'll tag anybody I've mentioned down below. Hopefully I'll be feeling better and less snotty in the next video. Thank you, bye.